Where are they? Fucking right, where are we always at? Loving them. Loving the old wheels there, Pete.
Nice one.
They're fucking bonkers, them, aren't they? So, Peter.
Yeah.
What's your full moniker? What's your full name?
Just my actual name.
Yeah?
Pete Cranfield.
Pete
Cranfield.
Cranfield. And where are you originally from?
From Speak.
Okay. Yeah, the old Speak, yeah. My old mate Don's from Speak.
Really?
Or as somebody called it, Halewood. You know the ones who don't want you to know they're from Speak.
Yeah.
You had them in the comedy club. Where are you from? Halewood. No, you're not. You're from Speak. In Halewood. Like that girl who once said to me, I'm from Norris Green. Just put a gap in it. It's not gap, love. Fucking not a screen, not a green. So Pete, explain to me and to everyone else what it is you do, how you got to where you're going.
So I've been a barber for the past 18 years. I'm 36 now. Started when I was 17. I just used to love getting my hair cut when I was a kid.
I used to love getting. I mean, that in itself is normally they need the booster seats and the fucking 5 people around.
Normally they hate it.
They scream like mad, don't they?
Yeah. No,
you just used to sit there going, "Go ahead!"
Yeah, loved it, mate. Honestly, it's always something. I don't know.
Clearly not so keen now. So yeah.
But yeah, I just from finished school, didn't know what I wanted to do. I used to do athletics. I was a shot putter on the Great Britain team. Got on the Great Britain under-20 team.
You are a bit of a unit, to be fair, aren't you? So there's no surprise on the old shot putting there, is there?
Yeah, so did that, and then just decided to go down the barbering route.
What year is that then? What are you talking about then?
2002, I think it was. Yeah, started.
And was that easy enough to do? Just kind of places available?
So the lad who used to cut my hair, I just said to him, "What's the best way? How do we become a barber? What's the best way to do it?" And he offered me an apprenticeship. So, did a full apprenticeship. I think it was 9 months. I did the college course. I actually dropped out of college because I just felt like it was a waste of time. I wasn't really learning nothing when I was going there. So, I dropped out of college and just spent all my time in the barber shop learning.
You were just in the college going, when am I going to cut
hair? Yeah. They were trying to obviously teach us all the health and safety side of things, and it was boring. So I just swerved college, carried on with the in the barber shop, and then just progressed from there really. But from the start, I always kind of knew where I wanted to be.
Yeah, it's good that. It's good to have that kind of vision early on. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you are, what you want to be. If you know what it is early on, you're sort of ahead of the game a bit, aren't you?
That's it. You can work towards it.
Yeah.
So, I always knew I didn't want to be stuck behind the barber chair cutting, 30 heads a day. I wanted to be doing what I do now really, and getting out and about, and just enjoying it. So, I just did whatever I could, to get to that position. Ended up meeting some boss people along the way, and obviously Dave, helped me get to where I needed to be.
So just for a bit of context to what you were saying about wanting to get out and about, you do kind of celeb haircuts, footballer haircuts. You've got a few kind of sort of famous clients now.
Yeah.
And how did that get going with you then? From going from a barber's, because obviously my mum had a ladies' hairstylist for years. So they walk past barbers in the street and go, like Anchorman, when you're fighting it in a car park. My ma wanted me to. She'd just go to you want to get into that hair. She wanted me to be the proper hairstylist. My original name when I was doing stand up was Neil Anthony, but it made me sound like a lady's hairstylist. They always pick 2 names: Keith Allen, Keith James. Neil Anthony, yeah. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds like a few quid a pop, doesn't it? Yeah, but I never got into it. I remember once working in his shop, and I'll tell you when it was, is how old I am. It was Live Aid, the 1985 Live Aid concert. Oh, wow. And my mum had a shop in Crosby, and I was brushing up hair, and there was an old one sitting in the chair, and she was being a right nuisance. Like, just being rude,
Yeah.
And I was brushing the hair behind her, and the girl who was cutting her hair, I just looked at the old one at the back of her head, and I just went, oh, God. And she was just looking at me in the mirror. I was going, go on, you fucking. Just looked across, and she was just looking at me like, there's fucking big massive mirrors. She's a fucking hairstylist. There's going to be mirrors, isn't there? I went, oh, hello. That's the end of that. I was brushed up. That was the last bit of hair I mopped up.
I've had a few little weird situations, you know what I mean? But
so when you we'll get back to that, obviously, but when you decided you want to get out and about, how did you make your links into because it must be difficult, because a lot of people, certainly footballers and that, they have a very close circle of friends, don't they? They don't really trust that many people. And
that's it. So it was the first lad I ever got in. He put a tweet out. Played for Everton at the time, James Wallace, and he put a tweet out just saying anyone recommend a good barber. and loads of people who are my customers, Evertonians.
I was going to say, you put back on, I know a fella called Pete, he's a cracking fan.
Yeah, so they tweeted them and said, you know, go and see Pete. So he came in, saw me, and then he recommended Jose Baxter, and then Ross Barkley and John Stones, James McCarthy.
That's what it is. They'll go on a recommendation of someone they trust.
Yeah. So they all started coming in, and from then on, it's just.
And is that you going to them, or they going to your salon?
To start with, they were coming to me, yeah, and then obviously as their profiles grew and you know they got into the first team and stuff, I started going out to see them then. And yes, they're still my customers now.
Because do you hear stories like Dele Alli gets his haircuts every day? You know, every day. Are you in love with your hairstyle as your barber, or are you just a bit of a weirdo? You must want the company, mustn't he? Every day. What have you missed?
Who's the most frequent then? Who's the one who goes
I see Stonesy every week. I see John Stones every week.
So he has his haircuts every week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, gets the kids through college, doesn't it? You must phone him Wednesday going, I see your fringe is getting a long there, John. I'll see you Sunday, mate.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? So we'll have to put a graphic in of how long hair grows in a week. just to reinforce the pointlessness of that. Again, that's part of the point. Is that more like a kind of a friendship thing now? Is it kind of you just meeting up and...
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the thing, you know, it is a weekly catch up, you know, I go and see him and they're like mates of mine now, you know, I see them more than I see my family probably, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's always like a little catch up, and it's never like a formal, you know, experience. It's more, yeah, we just catch up and have a chat and give him a trim while I'm there, you know. So,
yeah. Because I think Dele Alli flies his barber on England duty and all that.
Yeah.
Bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah. When the lads go away with England, I get to go away with them.
Do you, mate?
Yeah. And
so like to John Stones and that, you'll go.
Yeah. So go down to St George's Park, or I was over in France for the Euros, and yeah, you get to travel around with them, you know, so it's good.
I reckon you just take a bag of hair with you and you go click, just drop it on the floor, and you haven't touched it, just so you're just getting that length all the time.
Yeah.
So you've got I keep saying salons, what do you call them? Chairs, barbershops.
Yeah.
So you've got so you got a couple of them as well as a business now.
Yeah, so I've got 2 barbershops, and then I've got my own little like studio that I work from.
Are they Liverpool based? Are they city centre based?
City centre, yeah. The 2 shops, and then my place is on Jamaica Street as well, where I work from.
It's mad the way barbering's just sort of, I mean, I'd say took off, but obviously it's been around for a long time, but it sort of came into its own, and I think part of that male grooming thing was that they didn't really want to go and come out with a bob and a wedge.
Yeah. Beckham, I think, you know, obviously Beckham made it like mainstream and made it acceptable for, or, you know, something men wanted to do, to go and look after themselves a little bit more. And
wearing the skirt didn't quite work for them, but the barbering sort of,
he definitely was someone that, you know, made our industry grow.
Were you already in it then? Were you already doing
it?
So you're already committed to doing the job?
Yeah.
And I suppose when you think about it, and actually over the years, you know, I have thought I should have done barbering. There's an actor called John May. Do you know May? John May, you know, from Sweeps.
Yeah.
And he's a barber as well.
Yeah.
He's got a lovely shop there. But I often thought it's probably one of them things where in the industry I'm in, the acting industry I'm in, it's probably when you're away, you probably would make money by going to, you know, cutting someone's. But then of course the makeup department kind of do that. You know what I mean? For continuity.
Look at some of the, like I say, some actors will only have their barber, and some players only have their
barber.
Yeah. They've been going there. They look like, you know, the idea of being flying out, and you know, rock stars are not gonna, wherever they go in the world, they're gonna want their guy going.
Of course they do.
Yeah. That's it. It's all about that image, isn't it? Like a personal image, you know. If you're in the limelight or the public eye, and that, then
you just it's the trust issue, isn't it? As well, it's just like that little circle of people to be entrusted to, isn't it?
That's it. And I'm going to these people's houses or going on holiday with them, and that's always been the thing that so many young barbers contact me and say, you know, how have you ended up doing what you're doing? And I can only put it down to, you know, the trusting, because as I say, if these lads are, you know, taking me away or I'm going into their houses, then they've got to be able to trust me. You know what I mean? And it's
you know what they want, and you know the kind of thing they want. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't bother them for pictures or, you know, shirts and stuff like that, because that's pointless to me. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have the customer. At the end of the day, that's what I want. Do you know what I mean? I just need to be able to cut to there and earn a living. So I kind of know the boundaries, and I think that's as again, you know, something that's kind of helped me progress over the years.
Where's the kind of most exotic or the weirdest, strangest place you've had to go to? And the furthest, if it's just, you know, to cut someone's hair?
I was in Dubai in February, so that was, got flown out there to cut someone's hair.
That's
and then, I went to Mykonos, I was there for 24 hours. That was to see like a Saudi prince. Flew me out to Mykonos, so I was literally there, cut his hair, slept and then flew back the next morning.
And how does a Saudi prince get it? Just a big fan of...
That was another recommendation, so someone I know in London, a mate of mine works down in London, and it's his client, and he couldn't make the trip. So
word of mouth's amazing for stuff like
definitely,
that.
Yeah.
So they flew you out to Dubai?
Yeah.
For a haircut, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong game, mate. I am in the wrong game, tell you.
That's incredible.
It is. And have you ever had anyone who you've been working on where you've just wanted to just impale them with the scissors?
Yeah.
Have you had a few beats?
Yeah. It's, to be fair, it's, as I say, over the years, from when I first started, I was in a barbershop, there was no social media, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the only real famous people were actors, musicians, footy players. But then now you've got this culture of reality TV stars.
Yeah, they're the worst, aren't they?
Mate, they're the ones who have given me the biggest headache over the years.
Gemma Collins.
What's the headache?
Just they want it for nothing. They want a haircut for nothing. You know what I mean?
And is it one of them out sweet that you've had done a haircut?
Yeah. That's it. So one of the lads who I had in.
Names, people, what names?
But I cut his hair anyway, and he stood up after the haircut, was buzzing with his hair, and said to me, "Is that all right then?" And I was like, "Is it?"
It is when you pay me.
I meant to ask you that, you know what I mean? And he was like, "No, the haircut, I'll do a tweet on that." And I was like, "It's an awkward situation, you know what I mean? What do you say to that?"
Fuck no, give me that.
Yeah. I used to throw steelies for a living. I'll launch you over the fucking fence. I'll dig you in my neck, just launch you over my fence. Whoa! I'm from Towie! I'm guessing, or one of them tits.
Well, yeah,
and it's a mad thing, that, isn't it? Because that's embarrassing, that, isn't it?
Yeah, very, extremely, yeah. It's just...
What did you just go, Sam, whatever, off the pop?
Yeah, and then, you know, blank the phone call.
You know, you should have done, you should have said that, I've missed a bit. It's up the back of the heads with the owl number one. Comb it over, it'll grow. That's what my mum used to say. Remember, back in the day, you know, years ago, growing up as a kid, we used to have these combs. You can get these. We'll have to get these like a little flash up. It was a comb that had a blade in it, and you just go.
I've seen them.
Cut hair.
Yeah.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, I've seen them.
It cut hair, kill nits, did the lot. You know what I mean? And she'd open the top drawer and she'd go, "Sit down." You go, "Oh no, I'm getting the brush." It's like something Wolverine had attached. You know what I mean? And you just hear. There was no, you know, symmetry there, do you know what I mean? It was just...
Hope for the best.
And then she'd finish and my mum would always say, "It'll grow." What a brilliant thing that is. What a get-out clause that is. It'll be, you know, 6 months, nobody will know. Until you get the claw out again.
Have you ever done one where it was like, they hated it, or it was a disaster, or it was a bit of a scandal?
Yeah, one that mainly sticks in my head, I was working, I'd probably been a barber for about 5 years, I reckon. I was cutting this fella's hair, and he came in a suit and all that tie. And I said, "Do you want me to wash it?" He had loads of gel in his, like wax, whatever, in his hair. So I said, "Do you want me to wash your hair before I cut it?" He was like, "No, I'm all right."
Because that's money, that's workable, isn't it?
Yeah, so he sat down and started cutting his hair after he told me what he wanted. And I'd given him what he wanted, I'd finished. I said, "How's that?" He was like, "Oh, I need to go a bit shorter." So I said, "Alright, sound." So showed him how much shorter I was going.
Yeah, do that next time. Go a bit shorter, take your Cuban heels off then. So yeah.
So he told me to go shorter, so I went a bit shorter. How's that? Nah, shorter again. So went shorter again, tried it and all that. And he looked at me in the mirror and went, "What have you done to me?" I said, "I've done exactly what you asked me to do." He was like, "What am I meant to do with that?" And I thought someone was taking the piss, you know, like...
You're joking.
Yeah, I thought he was literally doing it as a joke, and I said, "Are you messing?"
Wasn't he watching?
And he said, "No, I'm serious, like, you've wrecked me here." And it killed me confidence for a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, fucking hell, you know."
I think he was after the claim money.
I don't know what he was after me.
What did he think he was doing? Just folding it in half? Maybe a shoulder. It requires coordination. That's remarkable, isn't it? Put a claim in for whiplash. That's just fucking... And again, another one, you just want to strangle him.
Yeah. But I remember, obviously I didn't see him for ages, and then he came back, and the shop I worked in at the time was walk-ins, no appointments, so he was in the line, and I could see it was like, you know, it was going to be me who was going to be cutting his hair, so I took so long on this fella's hair because I didn't want to get him back in my chair, and he ended up going to one of the other lads. But yeah, I say, it was just, I don't know whether he was after it for a haircut, you know, he just wanted me to say, oh, I fucked up, like, you can have it for free. But
I mean, we're kind of a bit of a... It's that English mentality not to do that anyway, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not in a restaurant, my food stinks, it stinks, and I'm telling you, although I know he's going to be booting me steak around the floor before it gets slapped back on my plate, but you know they're going to be doing that, don't you? On the wall. Okay. But if things like that, I kind of go, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, and then just not go back.
And then just not go back there, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a funny one, because so when you first started doing it, so it's not that long ago, really, was there any kind of a stigma attached to lads doing barbering?
Kind of. That was more to do with hairdressing.
Because they're completely different things, aren't they?
Yeah, and there was a time, about 2 years into being a barber, that I was thinking about crossing over and, you know, doing women's as well. And there was still that little bit of a stigma, you know, attached to it. But that wasn't the reason why I didn't cross over. It was just, I don't know, I just decided to stick doing, you know, concentrating on men's hair. But I do remember people saying to me, oh, what do you mean you're a barber? Or, you know, hairdresser, like people call you a hairdresser or whatever, do you know what I mean? And, yeah, there was a stigma, but it was never anything that bothered me.
What would you consider? Do you consider barbering to be easier than hairstyling? Just because there are less options?
Yeah, yeah, but then you speak to hairdressers and they'll tell you, you know,
so it's an art form in itself.
It's a different, yeah. So,
do you ever remember the art fella who used to have a little barber's in town, and he only ever used clippers? But he was quite famous. My mate used to go to him. I can't think of his name now.
What are you talking here? 80s?
80s, thousands. It wasn't that long ago, really. But he had a big metal, like an afro comb.
Yeah.
And clippers, and that's all he ever did. But every haircut he did was just a number one. just he was a bit mental and everyone was frightened of him. No, whatever he did styles and cuts, but he only ever, it was like proper old school.
No.
But I don't know whether he might have been quite famous in the barbering annals of history, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, not that I know of. I know there was a fella, obviously growing up as a barber, you know, being in the industry for so long, you'd hear of different barbers and stuff. And, I always remember people telling me about the barber that used to be in Quiggins. And he was someone that always like kind of popped up in conversation when you were talking about barbers and stuff.
Is that just because he was around then at the time when, or was it because he was really... That's what I'm saying. How do you know of some that... Is there a barbering world championships? Do you know what I mean? There must be competitions.
Yeah, there's competitions.
Are there people who are like absolutely shit hot? And if they are, how different are they than what you do?
Yeah, there's like competition wise, it's mainly like photographic stuff. So you'll do a collection of haircuts, you'll do a photo shoot with it, and then you'll send that off. And they have the British Hairdressing Awards every year, and you can just enter that. You have to, you know. And is that just photograph? So you just take photos of the cuts you've done. Yeah. But then there are live competitions as well, like when you go to big hair shows and stuff, you can enter live.
Are there speed ones as well?
Yeah.
I would imagine that.
Fastest haircut, yeah. I'd never be I'm quite slow. These lads were saying before that they not into slow haircuts, and I'm probably.
But I think that's a social side of it, though. I think you're probably, which is why I think you're probably popular with people who, like on a one-to-one, come to ours. It's probably, I mean, I don't know you, but you're an amiable lad. You're good to talk to, so it's probably rather than that. I mean, I think we're all sitting in a barber shop. We all want to just be able to. It's like the Play-Doh barbershop, and you just want to go, I'm off. But it doesn't work that way. But some are painfully slow, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's like you were saying before, same questions, you know, about going on holiday and all that. You kind of know after a few years. It's funny because I know all my clients on a personal level now, so they'll sit down and I'll remember what they told me last time, you know what I mean? I've got one of them memories, and I can always, you know, relate back to them saying, oh yeah, my son's up to this, and I always remember that, and people are always quite surprised, you know, by that. But it's, you know, it's my job, and I see these people, as I was saying, you know, more than my family.
Yeah, so. Of course you do. You see them quite a bit. I mean, I do that when I go to barbers and they go, "What do you want doing?" And I go, "Same as last time." Like they're going to remember. Yeah. Like I was the only other person in the chair. Yeah. I go, "Give the illusion of hair." That's what I always say. And create. Okay. So, how getting up to this utterly bonkers year. It's just killing everyone
Yeah.
in all weird, different ways. I was only thinking about this today. That, you know, there are industries that you'd have hung your hat on being completely impervious to this, like the travel industry.
Yeah.
It's caned, it's gone.
Yeah.
I know people who've been working in tourism, in flight, you know, flying, you know, like trolley dollies, air stewards and that. They're done, they're finished. And they've had, like Virgin Airlines, you know, big airlines, man, and they've been there for 20 years and they're just gone.
Yeah.
Cruise ships, everything. I mean, when you think about it, the only person I think who's going, is old Mr. Bezos, isn't he? Mr. Amazon.
Yeah,
who's just going, what, you can't go out?
Yeah, everyone's sat at home board just buying.
We bring it. Anything that delivers. Oh, there's not worse than standing in a Mackey's queue and 17 fellas coming to mopeds and getting it in front. Where are you going? The lazy bastards haven't even turned up. I've fucking got my car and drove in. I'm still waiting behind you. But so barbering, I mean, because of that, because there was a time we all went through it, didn't we? The first lockdown, and we're in lockdown 2, electric boogaloo at the moment, aren't we? But the first lockdown, I remember the hair thing was getting a bit weird, wasn't it? We were all Ken Dodding it round the house, weren't we?
Yeah. I had BBC News contacting me and all kinds, you know, asking me if I had any grooming tips for men, you know, how to cut their hair at home, and I did see some nightmares online, you know, people.
Fancy. Listen, it's going to be a long day before I think I'll cut my own hair. What could possibly? Well, really, you know, that's why you're not in front of the camera. You just set fire to yours. Just singe yours off. But I mean, I know you can get because like Chris Cairnsey we've had on here, he chooses. Yeah, he would have chosen hair, but unfortunately did not. But he's got that bulldog thing that you just go whoop over the head and all that, them clipper things and that. But I mean, people trying to cut their own hair was just. My missus actually has been during the first one was cutting the kids hair, but she's always had she's always been very good at doing it. She has got a bit of a knack for it, to be fair. Yeah. He said, terrified to say no. No, but she's really good. She's really good. But it's interesting. The kids' hair now is so much more of it. Like you say, probably with the Beckham thing.
Yeah.
I can't ever remember thinking about my hair when I was a kid. But the Alket heads are better back in.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like you drive down the road. It looks like Top the Pops 1972, doesn't it? Just all striding down the road with the big barnets on them and all that. It is nuts, isn't it? That's so much of a thing now. It is like cycling.
Yeah.
So how's this? So this now, what this crap we're going through now? What's it done for you business wise, and what's it done?
It's affected us massively. You know, it's we couldn't open for 3.5-4 months the first lockdown, and then this is another month closed. So.
It's worse when you stop and then when you start and have to stop again, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because to be fair, after 3 months off, me and my missus had a baby the first lockdown. He was born 26th of March.
Did you call him lockdown? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so
lockdown.
I had all that time, to spend with him. But for me, it was hard getting back into work, after that much time off.
Yeah.
I kept myself ticking over as much as possible while we were off, but there's still. I had to mentally build myself up to getting back in, and then, like you say, you get back into the swing of things. A couple of months back in work, and then we're off for another month, and it's mentally draining. I'm finding it tiring.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Well, because life's a routine, isn't it? You get into that routine for years and years and years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people. I think it's going to change the way a lot of people view their work now. And
definitely.
Most people are going to. Well, a lot of people are going to take the opportunity to try and work from home.
Yeah. I've spoke to so many of my clients are saying that, like it's. They've kind of found a new way of
not a bad thing when you think about it. Lighter
definitely.
Traffic, lighter on transportation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I just feel for I do feel for the companies that aren't able to work. Like the people who work for me, they're self-employed. We work it that way because it's better for them, and there's more opportunities for them. So, but yet they're self-employed, so none of them can work. The gyms, they're all short, and I just think it's crazy. If you look at the actual figures, it's. The problem's not caused or not being spread around them industries, and you've got the supermarkets open, people leaning over you, it's.
That's the thing, isn't it?
It's
just the total confusion about what is doing it, what isn't, what is allowed, what isn't. It is a strange one. So at the moment, because it did go back to the old, looking like you're getting your hair cut by a welder, didn't it? With the mask on. But is that lockdown stopped that again now? Is it? So there's no actual socially distanced. as much as you can hairdressing and barbering going on at all now? Do you all have to shut down?
Literally nothing at all, yeah. So they're saying the 3rd of December we'll be able to go back. I don't know what measures they'll put in place, this time round. I can't see there being much more we can do, because we had the masks on, we had the visors on, everything's sanitised anyway, in the shops. It's a barber shop's got to be well sanitised.
Of course
anyway.
It has, yeah.
That was one of the things that surprised me, the fact that so many barbers and hairdressers in this industry were surprised at the fact that your shop's got to be sanitised, because it should be like that anyway, really.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, what do you mean I've got to wash the floor?
yeah, people mustn't have cleaned the scissors for years.
Hilarious, that,
yeah, but I'm ready for whatever it's going to take to get back open, to be honest. I just want to be there, and December's going to be a mad busy month for us, because December's mad busy anyway, for our
with Crimbo
industry.
coming up and all that kind of thing.
So I can see it being absolutely
it's
nuts.
It's a bit disconcerting. Well, it is and it isn't, but the extending furlough till March doesn't give you a lot of hope for the 30-day lockdown, does
That's it, yeah.
Seems like a really weird thing to do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You'd think they'd say, well, let's take it month. No, March, just in case. Or it's happening, you know what I mean? No,
it's scary, I think, as well, because you see so many people now have just lost total faith, haven't they? And there's the marches going on, protests in town, and
yeah, I think they all want locking up.
Yeah,
I'm not sorry, but there was one the other day that I watched on Twitter, and it was a fella in a car who's pulled up outside Calderstone School because the army were turning up to do school. Now, my kids' school's already been mass tested.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. You want to know whether your kids can go to school or not. This clown jumps out the car, and he obviously wants to be on John Craven's news round. He wants to be a news hound, and he's going, I'm outside Calderstones. He doesn't even know the school. And he's shouting, he's going, this is a disgrace, this is it. It's like, he's talking to young army lads who don't know what he's talking about. And then there's a girl driving down the road with kids going to school. She's driving, holding one of these fucking loud hailers that they've got from fucking Tandy or whatever they've got from.
Tandy?
You know the ones that go, yeah. And she's leaning that way, driving, going, it's a scam. So you're going to take 30 kids out? What are you going to do? They get on my nerves. Because, look, 50,000 people have this is a real thing.
Yeah.
This is a real thing, and it's not about the thing, it's about it. It's a simple thing, this, right? It's just, the philosophy should just be, it's not about you.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Yeah.
You might be fucking Captain Immune, but if you go back and give it to someone who isn't, that's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, without putting too fine a point on it, God rest his soul, Bobby Ball passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I knew Bobby. I did a show with Bobby for 8 years. That man was a little bull.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a bull, and he went out for a meal with his family, came back, complained of a bad chest. They phoned an ambulance. He's chatting away in the back of the ambulance, and you never see him again. That's a thing, mate. That's not.
Yeah.
And what I find is hilarious is you're getting these people going, no, it's the government. Who in their right minds would set up this crock of shit? Who in their right mind? I bet you Boris Johnson's going, I mean, you look at the man, he's just terrified of his own shadow now, isn't he? I mean, the whole country's going down the pan, the world is. Yeah. No, this isn't some elaborate punchline. Yeah. You know what I mean? No one's going, apart from Bezos. Maybe it is. Maybe it was an Amazon-controlled situation. It is a really annoying thing, and you kind of just want to get it back to normal. I couldn't even get my eyebrows done in the barbers last time I was done. Would you do that now? Right, that's a bridge too far, isn't it, the eyebrows? I don't quite know why, but there you go. It's only there. She's cutting there. Cut there. No. It's that 6 inches of death, isn't it? It is a bonkers one, like, innit? What's your ultimate goal, MP? Just carry on doing what you're doing. Is there like an end game? Is there something that you think, whether it's opening a school up, whether opening,
Yeah, I thought about education, because, I do get so many people reaching out asking, how'd you get into the industry? And so yeah, that's something I've looked into. And I'm unsure whether to go down that route. I love I love social media. I love doing this kind of thing. So yeah, I'd love to do more stuff like this. Been talking to Rob and Ian, about doing some media stuff, some video filming, and yeah, I'd love to do a bit more of that side of it.
In a sense of what? You mean stuff to camera? You mean?
Yeah.
Or do you? I mean, for instance, could you or have you done this? Am I already preaching, but to the converted? But do you do like cuts online showing how you do them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so last lockdown I did some education for an American company, like a scissor company, and they had me doing some like Zoom classes online, and they went really well. They were boss, you know, really enjoyed doing that. But we've been talking about maybe like some kind of fly on the wall stuff, and you know, that kind of vibe, like barbershop vibe. So yeah, I'd love to kind of explore that.
Yeah, it is suppose one of the things, isn't it, where you think about men don't really speak anyway, do we?
No.
We don't do that thing of like, you know, sharing stuff and all that. Barber's chair is probably one of the places they do, isn't it?
It is definitely.
Think about a bar where the lads will have a bevy and all that.
Yeah.
There's that great that difference between men and women thing. There's a great thing of Dylan Moran does a sketch about in his stand-up where he says, you know, you go to your missus, I'm going to go out with Tommy, and she's like, why are you going out with Tommy? Oh, he's having a terrible time, his missus wants to leave him and he's depressed, and she's like, oh, babe, okay, yeah, you go out. Yeah. So they go out and get pissed, and the next day she goes, how's Tommy? And he goes, sound. What about his wife and that? I don't know. Is he depressed? No. What did you do all night? Just play pool. You know, that's what we do, innit? It's that wonderful thing. Yeah. But I think men, because every time I go to barbers, the barber I would go to, it's a full-on conversation, isn't it? And it's probably one of them times where you've got to be, you're a barber, but you're also a bit of a confessionalist, aren't you? You're a bit of a priest and a bit of a confidant and all that kind of thing, aren't you?
Over the past, I've kind of had to take a step back and, you know, not take people's problems on, because that's a massive part of our job. You know, people will sit down and tell you, you know, about the divorce or about shit they've got going on in their life, and for a time I used to take that on with me, and I'd be thinking, I hope he's all right, and you know, I hope his missus is all right, and I'd be worrying about things like that, and it kind of got me to a bit of a bad point where I was worrying too much, you know, about other people. So I had to kind of, you know, take a bit of a step back and learn, like, teach myself how to not take that stuff on as a problem for me. But yeah, you know, the fact that people can sit down in our chair and open up and, you know, and talk is amazing. Especially it is. At this time, you know, so many people are struggling mentally.
Of course, there's so much of a highlight of men's mental health in particular, because they don't communicate.
That's it. So we're in a prime position to be able to say to men, you know, are you okay? And, you know, let them talk to you and let them empty the problems onto you. And
what you should do is do a psychology you know, course. And if you had psychologist barbers, you know what I mean, tell me about your problems and all that kind of thing. There it is right there. Be a bit difficult if they're lying down talk to you about. No, but come on. No, Kev.
Is there anyone in the world who's you'd love to cut?
Loads of people ask me this, and it's like and they usually say dead or alive. Alive, I'd love to give Beckham a trim, because obviously he's that fella that everyone looks at, and I know grown men who take pictures of Beckham into the barbershop, you know what I mean, and say, "Oh, make me look like that." And we always have to say, you know,
nose over there.
Yeah, we don't do plastic surgery.
Comb over. I use scissors, mate, not a wand.
Elvis, he would have been someone I'd have loved to have cut his hair, but...
Is there anyone you look at now and go, fuck me, you need a haircut? Or just in general, who's that? I mean, Boris, he looks like he combs his hair with a balloon, doesn't he, Boris? Combs his hair with a toffee apple. But he does that on purpose, you know, he ruffles it up, it's because he calls it his brand. So he says, no, it's my brand. Do dicahedron. He just mumbles and then comes out with long words, you know, pre-Byzantine. Ronaldo, would you like to have a go at Ronaldo's head? He's got about 5 haircuts on one head, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm never keen on his trims. He goes for like...
shaved up one side, half the eyebrow gone. Bit life crisis haircuts he's got, hasn't he?
His kind of style's like, you know, stuff that you see young lads with, and it's not that's not good for the mid-30s, is it?
Well, I tell you what, you could do some dangerous gossip spreading. Not gossip, you know, like what do you call it when you're whistleblow on things? You know what I mean? Imagine that. Little camera in the chair there.
I was on an Everton podcast the other week, and they were like fishing a little bit, you know, trying to get a few stories, because obviously I get to go into the training ground.
Of course, man. Yeah, but that's the reason why they want you to do it for them, because they know you're not going to do that. You'd only get to do something like that once.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'd end up in court. Just speak to Rebecca Vardy, and I know that one's going on anyway. It's happening now, isn't it? Yeah. Apparently. She never turned up and the judge never. Something like that anyway. Just they'll get to 2 weeks and they go, this is a waste of fucking time, won't they? So what are you a supporter of Everton or Liverpool?
Yeah, Everton.
Are you an Everton supporter? That's Andy though, isn't it? Because if you're a Red, you'd want to just go and vice versa.
Yeah. No, I've always been.
Do you get that feeling when you sort of? Do you still get that feeling of like that's fucking John Stones?
Oh, mate. Yeah, it blows my mind, you know. Still, I went to see a couple of the lads. I think it was earlier on last season, in one of the hotels in town before the game. And when I was walking into the hotel, Duncan Ferguson was there, and he's been my hero since I was a kid. And I've been around the training ground loads, been around the lads loads, but I've never met him in person.
Yeah.
And I was literally two steps behind him walking into the hotel, and I thought, I've got to just say hello, you know what I mean? So I gave him a shout and shook his hand, and mate, he was incredible. And I was cutting Mike Keane's hair, and I got into Mike's room and I was physically shaking, and he was like, "You all right?" So I've just met Dunk outside, and he was like, "Oh, is he one of your heroes?" I was like, yeah. And he was saying to me, it's incredible, like he was trying to think of someone who, he was saying to me, he was trying to think of someone who would make him feel like that. And he was saying, oh, maybe Tiger Woods or, you know, something like that. Like
love the golf, the footy players, don't they? It's hand in hand.
But yeah, meeting him, for me, that was incredible, you know.
Yeah, and we used to have a bar years ago in town, and he came in one night and he was an absolute legend. You know, I'm a Red, I'm a dyed in the wool Red. Top lad, you know. Top lad, Uncle Ferguson. Just a gem, an absolute gem. And it's nice that, you know, they say don't meet your heroes, but it's a little bit of an added bonus when you meet them and you go, you are decent. It's not worse than meeting someone and going, oh, what a prick. Because it ruins it, doesn't it?
Definitely. Well, it took me a while to get over that kind of, you know, I cut Wayne's a great client of mine and, you know, a good mate of mine now. And
Wayne Rooney?
Yeah.
Or does he just leave it on the side, doesn't he come back for it?
You know, he's a great lad, and I remember the first time I cut his hair, I didn't know what to say, and I felt myself, you know, I was so nervous, but that was 7 or 8 years ago now, thinking, you know, I say, do
you still do that now? Still do
Wayne's
hair now?
Yeah. And yeah, you know, he's another one who I've become great mates with, and it just blows my mind.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you've got to give it all that. Got to be, you know, can't be nervous, can't you? All right, mate, and all that. Kid, I'm not asked about what you're doing inside. You go, look at his Wayne Rooney! That goal he scored!
That's it, yeah. It's incredible. It's mad.
Long may it continue, mate. Long may it continue.
Definitely, yeah.
Enjoyed that. Just while I'm here, I just wanted a little bit off the...
Should have brought me clippers.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Next time we'll get you back next time.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. That'd be great.
That'd be a great thing for you to do, you know, an online thing.
Yeah.
Confessions from a barber's chair, something like that.
Yeah.
Not that you don't get people, you get people to say what they're happy to say.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think there are fewer places in society where men open up more than in a chair with a bloke just chatting away shit.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that he just can't. It's where the little release is, isn't it? The little steam release.
Definitely, yeah.
There's got to be something in that, you know.
Yeah. Well, I have started a podcast, and I've done a couple of episodes up to now. And that's called In the Chair with Cutthroat Pete, so it's kind of like it's me.
Cutthroat Pete?
Yeah.
It's a cracker, isn't it? Cutthroat Pete.
Yeah.
He cut a fella's throat.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know those students who got the throats cut in the early noughties?
Yeah, it's me that. I was trying to think of a Twitter name when I first joined Twitter. And I wanted it to be obviously, you know, something to do with barbering and just thought, Cutthroat Pete, yeah.
It's a great name. Do you do the what's his name as well? Or do you do the Turkish one with the towel on the kip and all that?
Yeah.
I'm terrified they're going to put a towel on me head and some gangsters are going to win. Seen too many gangster movies. They always get them in a chair.
It used to be massive up until probably about 6 or 7 years ago, you know, when people started growing beards and that.
Because that's another thing that's like a phenomenon now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go down all the, what's his name, and it's beard wax.
Yeah.
Beard wax?
Yeah.
I mean, life's too short to peel mushrooms. Life's too short to wax your beard, surely, isn't it? If you're at home waxing your beards, you've got fucking time on your hands, haven't you? It's like this thing now, I've just driven past the Mackies and they've advertised a double Big Mac. If you order a large double Big Mac meal, right, and you're not doing a documentary, you need to look at your fucking lifestyle, don't you?
Oh, right.
It's that fucking big.
I was saying that to my missus last night. Who's going to order a double Big Mac?
Who's going to eat a Big Mac and go, you know what's missing here? Another one exactly the same right now. Would you do a double? We'll have to try and get you on the thingy.
Eating a double Big Mac?
The double Big Mac?
Sell millions of them, man.
Not double Big Macs. They've only just come out, it's fucking that big. He'd fucking struggle shot me, put me. I'll take a bit of that fucking lettuce off, will you? I'll do my hamstring in here. It's fucking that big, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Oh, you're getting good, aren't
That wasn't enough, that love. Who's ever walked away from a Big Mac, not burped 5 times and gone, could do with another one then right away. Fucking hell. You're writing the shit on, aren't you, straight after? Well, add this is... And on that note... There's good about this, because it's a chat, there's no structure to it, do you know what I mean?
No,
there's no notes, no structure, I don't understand all that.
Yeah. No,
I'd rather just talk that and then segue into farting after Big Macs. They'll all go in.